All right, we are recording. I'm so excited to share some of this information with you guys because this has been such one of those topics that everybody keeps asking me about. So I thought, you know what, instead of just I keep texting people, let me just do a live with a PowerPoint because I love PowerPoints. So feel free to like screenshot some the recipes, the blends, and just some of the ideas as we kind of go along. But I'm recording this as well, so I'll post this in the units as well. So welcome. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. If you don't know me, my name is Sudie Oaks, and I am a silver leader in doTERRA, and I absolutely love teaching about oils. I've been passionate about teaching and sharing information with others. That is my background. I'm a teacher. But a little bit more about me. I am a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. The first 2 kids I did not use oils with, and then number 3 and 4 came along, and I had the privilege of using oils throughout their the pregnancies, and then also delivery and infancy, and up until now. So their ages are 9, 8, 4, and 2. So we are busy, busy, busy at my house, but we have fun. All right, so I'm going to screen share, and as long I'm going to I can kind of see you guys on the side there. So if you have questions, you let me know, and we'll kind of go this way. So although now I just did this, and now I'm not going to be seeing any questions. So let me bring up my phone in the event that you guys do have questions. Okay, so now I'm like really delayed looking at my phone. This is going to be a little weird. Bring up my phone. Oh no, that's not going to be good. That you guys do have questions. Shh, I don't want to hear myself. Okay. Okay, so now I'm like really delayed looking at my phone. This is going to be a little weird. This is not good. Okay. That's a little weird. All right, so oils and babies. I know some of you guys have jumped on here recently. Have had some kids, so this is exciting. Others are just here for knowledge and for other people. Maybe some grandbabies. Maybe you just have a neighbor that just had a baby. So this is some great information that I want to share. So I like I said, I started using oils. Oh, back when, how do I go back? Back when Cooper was about 2 is when I started using oils. Elena's the oldest, and then Cooper, Everett is 4, Sailor's 2. And Cooper was my hard baby. Well, Elena was the hard baby. Cooper had major stomach issues when he was an infant, and I really wish I would have had oils then. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a minute. But oils and babies, infants and babies specifically for this tonight, because I want to just empower. When you can empower yourself, you can empower your children. And I love being able to witness this. Even tonight, some things happened, and I was just like, Elena, who's now 9, go get some oils. You'll be fine, kind of thing. So it can start out a lot younger. And as we're going to kind of go through, you're going to see how to do that. So why choose doTERRA essential oils? Very plain and simple, because they're pure, they're safe, and they're potent. doTERRA actually has given themselves, you're going to see this if you try to Google it or whatever, they've actually created and trademarked certified pure therapeutic grade, because no one in the industry tests and regulates their oils like doTERRA. And so that's kind of been a big thing in the past, I don't know, year or 2 with some people, but they're pure, meaning they're very natural. There's no artificial ingredients. There's no fragrances. There's no fillers. They're tested 11 different times. And I know my husband told me to be like short and sweet with this, but I do feel like this is such an important piece that I want to tell you. So, they are tested so many times. And as growers, as the farmers, So doTERRA goes all over the world to find these oils, which come from plants or bark or trees or seeds or flowers or whatever it is that it's coming from. And doTERRA works with a farmer, and the farmer then, just gets the oil, distills the oil, and then we'll give it to doTERRA. doTERRA tests it. Not doTERRA, it's a third-party testing. doTERRA sends it to the third-party testing. Then doTERRA says they get the results back, and they say, "Oh, this passed all 11 tests. That's great. We'll take it all." If there's a few batches that did not pass the test, doTERRA will say, "You know what? We'll take this batch, but we're going to give you the batch that did not 100% meet our regulations." But because doTERRA does not want those farmers to lose that crop or lose that profit, they say, "You know what? You can still sell this to another brand or another company." So there will be some companies that say, "We source from the same place doTERRA does." And that's probably true, but there's a reason why doTERRA did not use that oil. Okay. It's probably, there might've been like a slip up in the distillation process. Maybe just something happened. But doTERRA wants it to be as safe and pure and potent as possible. So there are so many tests that go on. And then potent, there's very standardized active components and compounds that are in each of these oils. And that's really a lot of chemistry that I'm really not going to go into tonight, but I can definitely send you some links if that is your forte. Okay. So, hi, you guys. I see people popping on. So if you have questions, please just post them in the whatever it's called, in the comments, and I'll try to get to them so I can see people popping on. So this is a great slide just to kind of either picture it in your head, take a screenshot of it, because infants and kids, and you can see there's ages on there. This is going to be, if you're going to be using a 10 milliliter like this, oh, look at even that. That's even like the blue one that's on the screen. It's so good. Or I use sometimes the 5 milliliters if it's going to be like a short and sweet, like teething issue or like an earache or something like that. I'll use a smaller one. So, excuse me. So you are going to, this is just a great chart to kind of memorize. So for example, as we're talking about infants and babies, you're just going to use maybe 1 drop, and that's going to be per oil. So when I talk about more blends, you're going to start to wonder like, well, how many, I thought you said 1 drop. And that's really, if you see up there, 1 drop per oil, or 1 or 2 drops per oil. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to add fractionated coconut oil. I don't know if you can see this. I know I'm probably little up in your screen. You're going to use that to fill up the rest of the roller ball. And then if for some reason there is like a sensitivity, or you notice like the baby's skin's maybe a little red or irritated, you can always use more fractionated coconut oil. I really like doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil because it absorbs so quickly. So there are other brands out there you can probably use. And when I've been in a pinch, I've just gone to, GNC and gotten the Now brand. But it definitely does not absorb as quickly as doTERRA's. So when I talk about coconut oil, and I know some of you guys that are on here know this, but I'm just saying this for newbies, or if you share this video later, in that this fractionated coconut oil is liquid at room temperature. So although you can use the solid coconut oil that you would like think of it like the stuff that you cook with, this is just a lot easier to make a blend, or to help dilute, or help wipe off in case of a sensitivity. So fractionated coconut oil, and then you've got your rollers, and then whatever oils that you need. So safety is really important. And before I go on, I really just want to kind of set some intentions here. I'm going to go over safety. some basic support, some common concerns that you might have when and during infancy and babies, common uses, and then some favorite blends that I've used. And I'm just going to kind of share a few stories. I'm a storyteller, so I sometimes get off track with that. So I'm going to try not to go over time because I don't want to get all you guys messed up. So some safety regulations and guidelines. You want to heavily dilute hot oils like oregano, cinnamon. I actually don't even suggest using those on infants. But I'm just going to put that out there. Like, you will heavily dilute that. You want to put in default places to apply. Think of it. I always say feet and spine for babies. And then if you put them on the feet, make sure that you cover them with socks, because I don't know about you, but my kids were always chewing on their toes. They were always grabbing their feet. And if they grab their feet and then maybe rub their face, that could maybe cause an issue. And then for babies, you don't ever want to apply near their face just because that skin is so sensitive. So now the only thing is that when you're using oils for like teething, you could put them on there. You can put it on their chin. But that's, I mean, typically when they're teething, it's like 6 months, 8 months kind of thing. So let's talk a little bit about the baby's foot. I don't know if I'm completely over top of this or not. So I'm going to kind of move myself. I don't know if that helps you or not. So as I'm saying, let's put it on the baby's feet. There's a reason why. A couple of reasons. One is that you have a lot of pores on your feet, which is a great place. And that's pretty much how you absorb these oils, is just through your pores. But I also wanted to kind of give you, this is kind of like the reflex charts and kind of Chinese medicine, if you will. So this is kind of broken up into some zones. I'm a very visual person, so I like to have screenshots of this. And then if I am with a baby or even with my own babies, this was very helpful when they got sick. So the zones, number one is the head and teeth area. And that's just that the pinky toes. The sinuses, all on the bottoms of the toes. The third one there is the solar plexus, which that's just like a lot of nerves, which I didn't really know what that was. I was just like, solar plexus, okay, but it's nerve issues. Number 4 is the upper abdominal area. 5 is lower abdominal area. 6 is the pelvic area. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this I love you massage as well, because that was the only thing that really helped Cooper with his poop issues. So so this is one of the zone areas. And then I like this one as well. So if you are rubbing oils specifically for, let's say your baby's constipated, you can rub right like at the arch of their foot, or maybe their chest. They have like a bit of a chest cold or something. You can rub right on the balls of their feet, right? So this is a great little visual as well. The brain, the head, the spine, the pelvic area, the neck, the diaphragm, so on and so forth. So that's just a very simple one. If you were to look up like the adult one, it's very, very intricate and detailed, but that's almost like overwhelming to me sometimes. So this one is a nice simplistic one. So, okay, let's talk basic support, because when I was in the thick of it with infants and even newborns, it was like, what can we do? The witching hour, right? Does anybody remember the witching hour? Or maybe they're experiencing witching hour now. The calming oils in the evening are key here. So Serenity, which is a blend that doTERRA has, and then the rest of these, well, Serenity and Balance are blends, but then lavender and cedarwood, vetiver, and Roman chamomile are all single oils. And you can do this one of two ways. You can diffuse, which if you have a diffuser, That's just a little, think of like a Cool Mist humidifier is pretty much what it is if you don't already have one, but you can put that next to the bed and diffuse lavender and vetiver. And all you would do is put 1 drop of each of those in there and let it run all night. And typically I would suggest, I mean, we're not very good at this about right now, but I would try, if I had 1 kid and it was just like we focused in on that 1 kid the whole entire night, I would try to put the diffuser on like maybe 20 or 30 minutes before bedtime, so that when you got ready for bed and you were in bed, that the air in the bedroom was already full of these amazing essential oils. So that would be my suggestion. Try to put the diffuser on prior to going to bed. So you can diffuse it, and then you can topically put it on before bed in those areas that we discussed, either on the feet, maybe down the spine, and then massage. You can massage it in with lotion or coconut oil after a bath even. That you can just incorporate it into the bedtime routine. I know when mine were little, it was like bath, a little massage, and then bed, right? Okay, so next thing is immune support. And this is daily. I do this daily with my kids. I shouldn't say daily, because sometimes I don't get to it. Like today, I don't think anybody did any supplements, or I didn't do any oils tonight. But during the fall and winter, I have a pretty strict routine and protocol for my kids. And that includes On Guard applied on their feet every day. So on the bottoms of their feet, on their spine, you can put it, and this is going to be diluted. You're never going to put this on just neat on infants and babies. Okay, you're definitely going to dilute it. Can somebody just make sure that you can hear me okay? Can somebody just respond or with a heart or give me a heart. Just to make sure I'm doing okay here. So because I want to just say with the immune support, the daily in the fall and the winter, it's because I don't know about you, but especially now when I've had the third and fourth baby, it was like we weren't going to stay in all day every day. It was like we had to get out. Okay, thanks, Brandy. We had to get out of the house. So we were at the gym, we were at the grocery store, and literally tonight we were just watching about how germs were passed between people. So this is such an important piece because, as infants and babies, they're really sucking on their fingers, whatever they touch, it's so gross. So anyways, On Guard, super important. All right. So as we're talking about sleep, this is a great little blend that you can do. Lavender, vetiver, Douglas fir. I love the smell of Douglas fir. Ylang ylang. And then 1 drop of frankincense. This is heavenly. So for 0 to 6 months, you're going to apply to the sole of their feet. 6 months and above, you're also going to apply a full strip down their spine. And then you can use this as a diffuser blend for all ages. And it's great. Something that I tend to do is, if this is a blend that I like to use, and currently right now I'm not using any kind of blend except Breathe and On Guard for my kids, just because we're just in the fall, winter germ issue, germ stage season. So, but what you can do is you can take an old empty oil bottle, 15 mLs, and then you can make a blend. Let's say, just times this by 6 or 10 or whatever, and drop those in there so that it's already mixed up for you. You would just put a few drops in your diffuser. So to save you time, that's going to allow you to just have it already made, set it by your, the nightstand or whatever, and then just drop it in. So sweet baby, sweet blend. This is a heavenly one. So lavender's just great for relaxation. Vetiver is actually kind of like what we call a sedative. And then frankincense, Jesus in a bottle, like it's so heavenly and great. So I'm not going to try to go too in depth with these. Oh no, I hope you can see this. This is Happy Teeth Blend. So as we're kind of getting into some of the common concerns that you're going to have, I know that this was such a big one. And this was why I was like, I got to do this baby class, because in the past, like 2 weeks, I've probably had like 7 or 8 people message me about teething babies. So, I wanted to put this one out there, but I love this blend. Siberian fir is great. Copaiba is one that's great for pain and inflammation, and lavender is great for calming. So again, you can apply it. You're going to put it with 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil. Again, all I've done in the past is just put it in a roller, and I actually will put it on their cheek, but you can actually apply it on their gum line. I guess this is your gum line here. And then you can actually apply this directly to their gums as well. We've also used clove, and I tend to use clove and suggest that one for just a little bit older. So like, I would say like almost 8 months and over. But again, like I always try to I test it. So I mix it up in my hand, like a drop of clove, and then, probably 2 tablespoons of oil or whatever. And then just kind of taste it or test it on my lip or on my gum. Clove is very numbing. So some people don't like it because dentists have used it. And so if they've had a bad experience in a dental office, they don't want to even smell it. Excuse me, I need to take a sip there. So Happy Teeth Blend. I just love that picture, those 2 teeth. All right, so again, teething is, I don't know, it's like, I feel like with infants, you're like, yes, I'm doing so well. And then there's like a sleep regression, and then you've got teeth coming in, and you're like, oh, I've got this. And then something else happens. So I love that I've had oils with the last 2 babies, because I felt like I could help them do something. Like I could help them with their pain. I could help them with their pooping issues or whatever it is that what I thought their concern was. So teething, again, just along the jawline, the clove, or even lavender, you can put directly on their gum in there. I always test it before I do that though. Occasional ear pain. So in infants and babies, sometimes you'll actually catch them like pulling on their ear. I'll tell you though, when I think it was after Everett was born, I actually went and purchased a little ear scope. Don't know what it's called, but you know what I mean. The scope that looks in your ear. Because anytime any of my kids would get like they'd say, oh, my ear hurts, or there'd be a little tug on the ear, I'd freak out and I would take him to the doctor. And a lot of times they'd be like, oh, they're just teething, or that's not a big deal. Well, I have had my eardrum rupture so many times that's why I'm like so sensitive to it. Like, I'm just like, let's take them to the doctor and make sure they're okay. Until oils. And now I try to just give them oils to put around their ear. So here's what you can do. I'm going to stop sharing here so I can show you specifically where you're going to do this, but basil, melaleuca, lavender, thyme, and then I should have put frankincense in there as well. And that's probably why I had another comma, but I just recognized that I didn't do that. So those 5, basil, melaleuca, lavender, thyme, and frankincense is what I would suggest you do. But you're going to dilute and rub behind their ear or even on their ear lobe, and then massage the back of their neck. And you can repeat that every 2 to 3 hours. So let me show you. I'm going to stop sharing here for just a second, and I want to show you, because a lot of times this is the problem. Their little ears and eustachian tubes aren't big enough to like let things drain. And so there is a little bone behind your ear. And so I always tell my people, like, rub behind their ear on this bone And then you can follow it down your neck, and those are like your eustachian tubes. So on both sides, you're going to rub behind the ear and then down the neck. So if it's more of like a congested thing, that's what you would want to do. Rub like on the back of their bone, the ear bone, and then down their neck. And then I will even rub on the inside. You never, ever, ever want to put like a drop of oil in their ear, in their eye, or up their nose. Okay. But if you have like a drop on your finger and then rub it around, that's okay. All right. So you can, again, on the ear bone, and then follow the eustachian tubes down. Okay. And then I've even started tapping with my kids, which that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But you could look it up online and check it out. So, okay, gonna screen share again. Just kidding. Let's go here. And all right. So another common concern is a healthy scalp. And I wish I would have had this with Cooper, because Cooper had he had such bad scalp, and I forget what you call it. Totally forget. But anyways, you know how at birth they give you those little like, I honestly thought when Elena was born, it was for my nails, but it's not. It's for their scalp. Yeah. First time mom, I was like, why are they giving me a nail brush? But whatever. So you can apply just some Melaleuca and coconut oil onto their scalp, and just leave it on. It's going to be oily. Yes. Cradle cap. Thank you, Brandy. You're going to just put like a drop of essential oils, and then put a generous amount of coconut oil. You're going to rub it together and then just rub their scalp with it. It's going to be kind of greasy, but just leave it there for about 15 minutes. And then with the little brush or that little comb or whatever, you can just gently brush and comb and rub it back and forth to loosen the cradle cap. And then you're going to wash their head. So I think I maybe did that with Everett maybe 2 times, and then we were done with it. I could not believe it, because with Cooper, it lasted months, and I was so upset about it, because it's not like the prettiest thing, right? So Melaleuca and then arborvitae. I really don't know how you say it, but that's how I say it. Both of those work wonders. But if you only have Melaleuca, use Melaleuca. If you don't like the way that smells, add some lavender. That helps too. So baby booty care. I say booty because it's like Sootie with a booty. I might be kind of getting slap happy at this point. So if they just have like a rash, or maybe they've gotten kind of sick and they've just had some gross diarrhea or something like that, you can actually combine 1 drop of lavender, 1 drop of Roman chamomile, or even frankincense in there in a carrier oil, and then apply to their bum. Now, here's what I've done in the past. I've actually created like a butt spray. So like in a 2-ounce spray bottle. And I think I have the blend recipe here coming up shortly, but and then it's just easy to spray on. Or I know that one of my friends like kind of made their own salve with shea butter and coconut oil, and then lavender, and then I think Roman chamomile as well. So at this point, I mean, if you have questions, I can definitely help you answer. I can answer some of those for you, but there's so many different recipes out there. You kind of just go with what you think works best. And these are the ones that I've used on my kids. So just putting it out there that these are the ones that really helped and worked. So some other oils that are great for just some common uses and common concerns that you might have. So, okay, here's the story. Here's a little story about Cooper. He had I breastfed all my babies. Cooper was breastfed up until about 6 months, I believe, because they told me it's going to take a year from when you stop breastfeeding for the relaxin to get out of your body. I was a hot mess. My legs felt like they were falling off, so I stopped breastfeeding. But when he was an infant, he would go like 2 weeks without pooping. And the doctor assured me, oh, it's fine. Breastfed babies do that. That's okay. And I was thinking, this just does not seem right. Like, he was miserable. I would put him, finally my friend was like, Sudi, just put him in the bathtub and let warm water run over his tummy. And I was like, this is not working. And I can remember I just started going to these events called Chicks Chat and Chocolate at my church. It wasn't at the church. It was like at people's houses but it was like ladies at church. And I took Cooper and they were like, oh, I think he pooped. It had been like a solid 2 weeks. Like, I think we were going on like day 16 or something like that. And they were like, oh, he pooped. And I was like, no, there's no way he pooped here. Oh, sure enough, he like exploded, of course, while we're out. The one time he poops. But anyways, I tell you that because I did not have these oils when Cooper was an infant. And let me tell you that now, and with Everett and Sailor, my last two, I was able to use fennel and digestin, which is the digestive blend that we have. Lavender, wild orange, even citrus bliss really help with the digestive support of the little ones. Fennel, here's a tip. Fennel is actually great for increasing your milk supply as well. So fennel is one that I just always had with me. When I was nursing, because after I would nurse, I would rub it right on my boob, and then by the time they nursed again, it had been absorbed, and they weren't like sucking on fennel, but it really increased my milk supply too. So anytime any one of my kids, the last two kids, had a stomach issue or I felt like, oh, they're constipated, I would rub fennel on their belly. Now more so than before, digestin is the one we use. Respiratory support. Listen, we do have a Breathe, and that's the respiratory blend. But with little itty bitty babies and infants, we suggest not using that because it has a few oils in the blend that they suggest not using. So with like 0 to 3 months, I would suggest not using the Breathe, but like anywhere from 3 months on, you can start to use it. So I left it off of this one, but On Guard, Purify, Lemon, Lavender are great for respiratory support as well. And then immune support, kind of like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, but Melaleuca is one of those oils that helps to kick any kind of virus. So I always suggest using that one. Lemon is a great detoxifying oil, and then Purify, and then On Guard as well. So as I'm talking, I just realized I did not put in here cilantro. And cilantro is one that I used with I even use it now with the kids when they get shots because I do vaccinate. But cilantro helps to pull heavy metals out. So I will put that on their feet or in their bathtub. Roger always wants to gag because he does not like the smell of cilantro. So I'll put that one in the comments for you as well. But cilantro is great to help if you've just given them shots. You can make a little roller of cilantro and maybe Melaleuca and On Guard and just rub the bottoms of their feet and their spine. That will help to kind of like detox the body of any unwanted heavy metals and stuff that they just got in their shots. All right, so as we're talking about digestive support, this is one of the things that I learned when Cooper was so stopped up. And then when we added these essential oils, I don't know if any of my kids then have been constipated. I'm trying to think. Maybe maybe 1 or 2 times since. But so anyways, this is what I call the I love you massage. And so if you notice, you go down for number 1, down for number 1, like I, and then across and over like an L, and then up and around in a circle, in a half circle, like a U. So do you see how it's I love you? And really all you're doing here is you are creating some movement in their colon. Okay. It's like just stimulating the descending and transcending. That's not right. That's not the word I'm trying to come up with. Ascending, descending, and then just their overall colon there. So it's just like you're stimulating their digestive system. And then if you add in their fennel, maybe digestin, that's really helpful as well. Leah asks, can we use Breathe for respiratory support, or is it not safe? You can, just, it needs to be, yes, 3 months and older, not recommended for the young ones. Yeah. All right. So we're going to keep going. This is, again, I loved this little massage. And here's the thing, I am learning more and more. Physical touch is so super important. So if you've ever had a baby, you're going to know, like, they do kangaroo care. So they just immediately put the baby on your belly. And the funny thing is, you guys, like with every single one of my kids, the minutes or seconds right after birth were so different with all of them. It was just like, what's happening? Like my expectation was this. And then with every kid, it was different. I was like, I'm not having them that far apart, but it was funny. So anyways, physical touch, kangaroo care, so super important. All right. So favorite blends. And this is now getting to like the toddler years. I know but you can still use it for, I say toddlers, but anywhere from, I would say, 9 months till what's the end of toddlers. I mean, I actually still use this on Everett, and I think I just used it on Elena the other day too. So the Boo Boo blend, I actually have it in a roller ball, but you can put it in a spray bottle. Again, you can do melaleuca, lavender, frankincense, and then fill the rest with coconut oil. And you're just going to rub that on. You're going to spray it on, rub it on, and then just let it be there. You might want to put a Band-Aid on it, but the fractionated coconut oil will not allow things to be like sticky on your skin. Okay. So if it's like a scratch or something, I don't ever like use a roller ball and put it on a scratch. What I end up doing is washing my hands. I'll put the roller ball, I'll roll it right here, and then I'll kind of like tap it on to the Boo Boo. But that's why a spray bottle, it's just nice to spray like an abrasion or something like that. But what's fun is, and I'm really bad at this, my friends are pretty good about this. They'll take a picture of like, this is when it just happened, and then 5 hours later, and then 24 hours later, how it looks after using some essential oils. So, and then Child at Peace blend. So this is amazing if you have some toddlers, or even, again, like even if you have an infant. I say infant, but it's a baby. I would say any like 9 months and older, you can start to use Peace. And Peace is a touch blend. So that means when I say Peace Touch, that means that it's diluted with fractionated coconut oil already in a roller ball. So that's nice. You can just rub it on their backs, on the tops of their toes. You can put it on the back of their neck, which is nice. Oh, that's a different lighting. And then we all love Balance, and Balance is great. You can use that with babies as well. I like to diffuse that one daily, in and out. For those of you guys that don't know, Balance is our grounding blend. So it's if you're a high strung, if the baby, so maybe you're having anxiety. Okay, little story, and then I'll try to end this pretty quickly. But with my first child, Elena, my anxiety went through the roof. I didn't know I had anxiety. I honestly thought this was just what everybody felt all the time. But Elena was very colicky. She had major separation anxiety. But now that I've learned a little bit more about it, I think she was just feeding off of my anxiety. And I didn't realize, and I wish I would have been able to, use oils to help calm her down. So even I can remember, and I tend to do this now, like if somebody's freaking out, I will actually put an oil on my hand and I'll just cup over their face. I'll just say, breathe, because if you can breathe it in, it helps to just calm everybody down, right? So by no means am I saying like totally cover their entire mouth or face or nose, but you can just kind of like gently put your hand over an infant. Just kind of like if things are they're just crying, you can't figure out what's going on, just put some oils on your hand and just kind of like, you can even go like this over their face, just to kind of get the air, the aroma. There we go. Aroma in there. So Boo Boo Blend, Child at Peace. Okay, so here are some of the rollerball recipes. These are actually just taken off of Facebook. And I've made, for some of my friends who've had babies recently, I've actually made some of these roller balls for them. So this one's Sleepy Baby. This is the one I was sharing with you earlier. Again, so if you don't have an oil, like, because I know I originally said Roman chamomile in here as well. If you don't have that, just do lavender and frankincense. It's heavenly. It's great. And again, just big toes all over their feet, and then apply on their spine. You can even apply it over their heart as well if they're just like really crying. Again, the witching hour can be dreadful and stressful for everybody, especially with other kids. The Tushy spray, lavender, melaleuca. If you don't have myrrh, that's why I put frankincense in the other one. But myrrh is such a healing oil. And we're actually going to learn about myrrh and all of the healing oils of the Bible in the next couple of weeks. So, but myrrh is such a great one. For any kind of healing of a skin. So anytime anybody in my house like burns the roof of their mouth, like they've eaten something really hot and it like instantly burns their mouth, this is one that I'm like, okay, put it on the roof of your mouth, just a drop. It tastes awful, but it helps. It's like by the next day, there's like, I don't know if there's new skin that appears, but it's like healed over and it feels heavenly. So myrrh is a great one for like severe diaper rash. And here's one for the calm mamas. So my go-to has always been Serenity and Balance, but this is and this one smells really great too. This is a great one to kind of calm you down as well. Any kind of wood, like sandalwood, cedar wood, those are really calming. Think of it like these big trees that are just grounding. They're rooted in the ground. Geranium smells heavenly. Lavender is just a great calming one. And then ylang ylang. Oh, ylang ylang. We love you. So that is that. I'm going to stop sharing. And I just want to share with you guys a couple of the books that I have kind of gone through. I don't even know if anybody's still on here. But for anybody that's pregnant or about to deliver or even that you have babies, this is the book. Oh, I don't know if this is backwards or not. It's called The Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies. And Stephanie Fritz, Fritz, she's amazing. And this book is what I followed pretty much verbatim with Everett and Sailor. I did talk to my OB prior to delivery just to make sure it was okay that I used oils. And she was she was new to the idea of oils, but she was open to it. And so we just kind of talked about it. But she was kind of asking like, are you thinking that you're not going to get an epidural or, like all sorts of things. And with my first pregnancy, we kind of had some issues. I was preeclamptic and my blood pressure was like 210/180. And I was like, oh, I don't need an epidural. And they're like, girl, you're going to die. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I had it all planned out and it did not go as planned. So, this is the book I love, and I tend to suggest that to anybody. I know I have a couple of people probably not on here anymore, but this is the book that I've given them. And there's lots of good information and good recipes in here, like the edema blend if you've gotten, swollen. Good stuff in there. Okay. And then my other reference book, the one that I really like, is called The Essential Life. This is the 4th edition. I need to get the 5th edition with the new oils that just came out. But those are the references that I really like to use. And then you can always find stuff on Pinterest. Blends and stuff, recipes and such. So that's what I've got for you. Does anybody have any questions? I tried to keep it short. I kind of went over a little bit, but nope. Okay. So just to sum it up, you've got, you want to make sure that you dilute properly, and you want to go back to that chart. When in doubt, dilute, heavily dilute if you are questioning it. And here's the thing. If you use doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil and you heavily dilute, your baby's not going to like slip through your hands because they absorb it so quickly, as opposed to like a different fractionated coconut oil, which might be that they might just kind of be like one of those babies that just kind of slip through. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, learned a little bit about babies and oils and dilution. And if you have questions, please let me know. And I am going to stop the recording now. But please let me know if you have any questions, and you can contact me, and I'll leave my information in the comments for you. So have a wonderful night, and oil up those babies.